So about 20 years ago, I graduated from college and got a job with the only company that would hire a 21-year-old with a bunch of useless degrees. So I got a job as a financial advisor, helping clients manage their finances, help them with their insurance, investments, and retirement planning. Surprisingly, I was pretty good at it. For what it's worth, it was a pretty good job. I got to wear a suit to work. They allowed me to drink as much coffee as I wanted in the break room. My coworkers were pretty awesome. Management was pretty cool too, and I even had my own cubicle with my own phone. But that wasn't the best part. What I loved most about my job was that I got to be out and about, working with people, talking to strangers, helping them manage something that was overwhelmingly complicated for them. And they trusted me to take care of these problems for them. And as someone who thrives on recognition and validation, this was the perfect job for me, or the worst job depending on how you look at it. But the icing on this cake was that I earned more money in that first month than I ever did in all 4 years of college, working 2 jobs, and all of that income combined was nothing compared to what I earned that first month as a financial advisor. I made so much money that by the time I hit my 22nd birthday, I bought myself my first home. And here's the thing, when you start experiencing some measure of success in your work, doesn't matter what industry you're in. It could be finance, fashion, photography. When you start making some money, people start to notice you and you end up on their radar. It could be your colleagues, management, your competitors, even your clients. So by my 3rd year in the world of financial services, the competition had finally gotten a hold of my name. And they were so impressed with my numbers that my phone was ringing off the hook. These headhunters were relentless. And I rebuffed them for the most part because I felt a sense of duty to the company who had given me my first shot, fresh out of college without any discernible skills aside from my friendly demeanor and my willingness to work hard. And, I liked the people that I worked with. I was pretty cool with everyone in the office. And besides, I was making pretty good money. If it's not broken, why fix it, right? But the phone calls continued to come in nonstop. Every single day, they offered me a larger office downtown. They offered me more money, higher commissions, a support team, more things that I could sell so that way I can make them even more money. And when you're 24 years old, you don't have a lot of people that you need to be responsible for. All of that looks pretty damn amazing. I mean, what's there to lose, right? Well, everything, apparently. Within 2 years, I had lost everything. Everything that was promised to me, I did not get. Apparently, I had not read the fine print. I never got the big office. I never got the higher commissions. I hated most of my new coworkers and I hated my new boss. All that glitter was not gold. And within 2 years, I lost my home, I lost my job, and the girlfriend that I had at the time, I lost her too, which in hindsight was probably for the best. But I lost everything for what? The long and short of it, I lost everything because I was chasing the money. I'd lost sight of why I'd gotten into this line of work in the first place. Thing is, I got into this line of work because I wanted to help people. I got into this line of work to serve others. That alone was the reason why I found success early on in my career. Not the high commissions, not the suit and tie life, not the fancy office. Those things were nice, don't get me wrong. Making money is nice. But that's not why I initially loved that job. I loved my job because I got to help people. I got to serve people. I got to solve complicated problems for them. Simply put, I had my priorities all messed up, and that's what screwed me up in the end. Now, why am I sharing this with you? At some point in your career, someone's going to come along and tell you that you're undercharging, that you need to charge more, that you need to value what you bring to the table more, that you need to charge whatever you can get away with. And then you'll proceed to raise your prices, and then suddenly everything disappears. Then you find yourself with nothing but crickets. The inquiries stop coming in. The ones who do come in are constantly ghosting you. All of your new prospects are trying to negotiate you down to a lower price. And now you've got to do the walk of shame and lower your prices again to what the market feels is fair for what you are offering. Do you ever wonder why your competition is telling you to raise your prices all the time? Now, this might not be true all the time, right? But I imagine there's a slight possibility that you're undercutting them and they're losing out to you at every single turn. So if you're actually dumb enough to fall for their trick, then you've lost one of the aces that you've had in your hands, the one ace that made you competitive. All right. And if you don't have any other aces in your hands, you're pretty much screwed. Now, the other person that you might encounter in your career might be some of the unsavory characters in the industry who might be telling you to raise your prices. Well, do you know why they're telling you to do that? There's a small possibility that they're trying to stroke your ego, tell you that you're worth it, make you feel good and feel all the warm and fuzzies, so that way you'll buy the program. And they haven't even looked at your portfolio yet. There's a very good possibility that they're trying to convince you to sell your beer for champagne prices. Now, don't get me wrong, there's probably nothing wrong with your beer, but you can't be trying to sell that beer in a room full of folks who want champagne. Customers these days are not stupid. They know when things are overpriced. Now, it doesn't matter how great your experience is, or how everyone rants and raves about you, or how amazing you are. if the product itself is punching above its weight class. In other words, your product needs to be more refined. It needs to be reworked to be able to compete with the competitors on that next level up. Now, I've seen some big industry names raising their prices all the way to $20,000 for coverage, and now it's crickets in their inbox. They've since cut back to a more reasonable but relatively high-end $10K for coverage, but still crickets. Unfortunately, the damage has already been done. The reason why I'm sharing all this with you is because you've got to be super careful whenever you raise your prices. It can't be a decision that you should make lightly. It definitely can't be because you simply just want to make more money, and that's it. It's got to be tied to the value that you bring to the table, value that your prospects and your clients see, and all of this is validated by your conversion rates and your inquiry volume. So for example, if you're closing everyone who's coming in through the door and they're all saying yes, but this inquiry volume is low, your inbox is perpetually empty, now is not the time for you to be raising your prices. You need to raise your perceived value before you raise your prices. So if you're raising your prices just because someone told you to do it and it feels good, that's not going to work. Your customers are smarter than that. The marketplace is smarter than that. So my 2 cents, don't chase the money. All that glitter isn't gold. If you're doing all the right things, you're putting in the work, you're serving your clients, you're serving everyone around you, the universe will take care of itself. That money will come to you when you're doing all the right things. I am living proof of this. My 3 brands are living proof of this. If you're going to do anything for your business, don't do it simply just for the money. Do it because it serves your clients better. Do it because the numbers make sense. Do it because you have more work than you can handle and everyone is shouting your name from the rooftops. And if you ever find yourself in that enviable position, then that's probably the right timing for you to raise your prices. But if you're struggling to get bookings, you're struggling to get inquiries, raising your price is probably not the answer. In fact, that's one of the last things that you should be doing. So if you're struggling to get inquiries, that could be a marketing issue. It could also be a product issue, but I can 100% guarantee you it's not because you priced too cheap. So what's my advice? First thing you got to do is raise your value first. Get that validated by all the incoming prospects who will tell you straight up if you're worth what you're charging by handing over their hard-earned money in order to have you and your product and services in their lives. So if you know for a fact that you're bringing in value and you know that you're serving your clients in a very meaningful way and you're ever on the fence about raising your prices, here's what you got to do. The first thing you got to do is look at your funnel. Look at the inquiry volume and your closing rate. If you're closing everyone, but there are no inquiries coming in, now is not the time for you to be raising your rates. Figure out where you can elevate your value in order to get that inquiry volume up. And once you start getting more inquiries than you can possibly handle, maybe because they're all asking for dates that you can't take, then maybe that's when you should start looking at upping your prices. The second thing that you ought to do is look at your value proposition, your unique selling proposition. Are you bringing more to the table since the last time you raised your prices? Did you improve the product? Did you improve the client experience? Did you improve your turnaround time? Do you have new tools at your disposal that will help you improve the product? Is there something that justifies the raise, outside the fact that you've simply notched another year under your belt? Well, let me tell you something. Your clients don't care if you've got another 1 or 2 more years under your belt, or even compared to your competition. That alone is not going to justify why you're a few $100 or even a few $1,000 more than your competition or where you were a year ago. Third thing you got to do is ignore everyone who comes along and tells you to raise your prices. They don't know your business. They don't know what's going on in there. They don't know what your inquiry rate looks like and what your closing rates look like. They don't know how many weddings you're shooting a year or how many that you're trying to shoot a year. I'm willing to bet they don't even know what your portfolio looks like either. Your portfolio could very well need a whole lot of work before you put it out there at this new price point. They don't know that. Your business is your business and they need to mind theirs. At the end of the day, I don't want you guys to fall into the trap of constantly chasing the money. Try to remember why you went into business in the first place. Yes, we are all in business to make money. We've got ourselves and our families to support. After all, we are not a charity, right? At the end of the day, we've got to make money, but I'm telling you, the money will come if you're honest with yourself and you're doing all the right things. You got to take a good, honest look at what you're offering and determine without a shadow of doubt that you're worth everything that you're charging and a whole lot more. Because if there's a disconnect there, for whatever reason, you're going to find nothing but crickets in your inbox. And on that note, that just about wraps up this week's video on how to avoid the pricing trap in your business. I hope that in today's video, you guys learned a little bit more about how to price yourself appropriately, so that way you'll never find yourself with an empty inbox. Just like anything in life and in business, there's a right and wrong way to go about doing things. We just want to make sure that you guys stay on the right path. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed today's video, please remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, and invite your friends to the party. If you'd like to learn a little bit more about how to attract your dream clients, set your marketing on autopilot, and book like crazy, please go ahead and visit benlau.com/education, where you can learn more about my sales and marketing course and coaching program. As always, thank you guys all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys